Welcome everybody to the Casey and Mike show. We appreciate you guys coming to our show, but this is not just Casey and Mike show. This is Tanya and Aunt Cal and Aunt Genevieve, and this is everybody's show. This is Kia. This is all of our show, and we ask that you guys participate in it. And we appreciate you guys for coming and joining us on this Wednesday evening. We have several things we're going to talk about tonight. Our nation, but there are some specific things we're going to talk about regarding our nation. So this conversation is going to be all over the place. But before we get into it, there was something that I'm always thinking about, crazy and weird stuff, and so I don't really look at our shows after we're done. But what I do is I think about the things that we discussed, and I think about some of the times when I say, and I think I've done this before, maybe when I say, "Hey guys, I love God and I'm in the Bible and all those things," but it occurred to me that I don't have to say those things because my life should show it, and so I'm going to try my best not to try and justify who I am, because if I am not portraying who I am or who Casey is, if you don't see that, then there's something else that we need to work on. So for me personally, and I know Casey don't really do it, but I do. I'm always trying to justify and do those. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to try to live my life and let whomever decides who they think I am, because everyone knows I love God. Everyone knows I read the Bible, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I get the things that I say and what I do from. That's my core. Okay. So I'm going to try and stop talking about that and trying to prove who I am, because I shouldn't have to do that. If I'm not living like that, then I have to work on something else. And so, as we said, I have some random thoughts that kind of go through my head before we get into everything. But before I do that, I have a funny story, and this is the story. Casey and I try and figure out, some of the subjects that we're going to talk about during the week, and we try and okay, what we're going to come up with. And every now and again, my wife chimes in. So let me tell you what she said. She said, "Why don't you and Casey have a show where y'all talk about, like, if y'all weren't married, the kind of women y'all would be with?" I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine me and Casey getting on here and saying, "Yeah, so this is the kind of woman I would get"? And can you imagine if one of those things that we said diverged from who we're married? I was like, "Are you kidding me?" She's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm no fool. I'm not crazy. And I'm not going to be set up like that." So that's my funny story, because she crazy. I don't know why she came up with that stuff. You ain't trapping me. I don't know where that came from either, but okay.
It wouldn't even be a trap. It wouldn't even be a trap.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tanya, I love you, but I ain't crazy. She said that's not what she meant, y'all. That's what she said. Okay. So I have a story, and then I have some other random things, and then we're going to get into it. So I was talking to a coworker this week. She's a Hispanic lady. She's a coworker of mine. And we were talking and just, shooting the breeze. And she said that when her parents were growing up and they were in school, she said that if they spoke Spanish to each other, they would get slapped and hit and punched and were told not to speak Spanish to each other in class or whatever. And because she said that she understands a little bit, but she don't really know it. And so her parents were like, "We don't want you being punished or getting hit or whatever. We don't want you to go through what we went through," because they were speaking the language that they were taught. And so in my head, I was trying to fathom, and I understand we're black slaves. And I understand we all went through things, but I was trying to fathom you being punished. Well, hey, for being black, we were punished, but you're trying to talk your language and you were being punished in school. You're getting hit because don't speak that. Don't say that. And so I was trying to wrap my head around having this conversation, and they aren't that old. I know our parents went through stuff because we're black and whatever. And I try and put myself in their place. And it was just a hurtful thing having that conversation, but it just hurt. It was just like, it is, but I've had the same conversation with people at my job about about being black and things that I have to think about, and the lady started crying, and I was like, this is what I've been through. So I guess it was the same thing with her. And this is my last random thought, and then we can kind of get into everything. We celebrate Thanksgiving for people who came here and purposely made people sick and tried to kill them, but we celebrate it as Thanksgiving. And I could be wrong, cuz tell me if I'm wrong. That's why we celebrate Thanksgiving. It's a random thought. It's a random thought. And when we celebrate, it's like, oh, the Indians and the Pilgrims, and they got together. Random thought. And that's it for my random thoughts. Go ahead, cuz. You can speak to any of that, and then we can get moving on.
All right, first I'm gonna speak to Tony.
Okay.
Sis, I don't even believe you said that. I don't believe Michael. I don't believe you said that. I think Mike is just messing with me tonight. The others, I wouldn't shy away from the topic, because I think what
talking about, Willis?
You want me to shy away from the topic, so you don't have to.
Oh no, please! I want to know how you would approach that subject.
I think that's an interesting subject, but like, I don't think there is a type. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those people where there is a type. I mean, from top to bottom, when you got everything that a man is desiring, the intellect, the looks, the drive, the determination, the focus, the nurturing aspect. Of course, you want your wife to look good. So all of those boxes are checked already. We didn't meet where there was I guess a by chance meeting, because I would have approached her no matter what the circumstance was. So yeah, sis, I'm gonna leave that one alone, because I'm telling you probably in their life. You see your mom.
I appreciate that, cuz that was a good response.
I love what I love, man. So I would have. I love it now. I loved it at a young age, and I hope to be still feeling the same way in my 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, if thus saith the Lord. So anyway, now let's get off of that. Let's go to the Thanksgiving. It's another form of lies that we were told to, take the harshness of what actually happened away. They want you to think that it was a kumbaya moment and everybody was sitting down eating feasts over this long table and passing me the pears. And come on, we all know what that was about, because our country has been that way. And it's sad, even though we do have the probably the country with the most freedom, at least we had. I don't know what we're going to now. We had the country with the most freedom, with the most diversity. But for some reason, when you talked about the lady that was getting yelled at or chastised for speaking her language, in our country, people are afraid of what they don't know. They're afraid of what they don't know. It's an insecurity. There is, I don't know where it comes from or why it does so often. And I've had to, dial it back, because I've gone somewhere and ordered food at an Oriental restaurant before, and the person, said my order back to me in perfect English. But then when they said it to the people in the back, it was something else. And I'm just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You said a whole lot. I said, I just said house low man, egg roll. I don't know what you just said, but I don't know. They could have been saying the ingredients, but I still ate it.
Yeah.
So, and I think all of us do. I think we all have sat down at an Italian restaurant, at a Mexican restaurant, at an Oriental restaurant, at a soul food restaurant, as a Southern restaurant, at all of these places, and we still partake of all of these things that we enjoy, but we don't want to be a part of the diverse nation that all of this stuff is made up of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't understand why our country is like that, but I do understand and believe that our nation is probably going to be that way until the good Lord comes. I don't know if we're going to change. We can pray for it, but you know what? There's so many more other things that can take up our prayer life. There's so many people that need to be saved. There's so many people that need to be healed. There's so many people that need restoration. Like all of the racial stuff, it's here. It's real. It's sickening. It makes me sick. I get tired of it. I get so tired of it. And I think I get more tired of people thinking that our people bring up racial stuff just because we, have, we need some kind of a point to make. Yeah. No, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here and it's never going anywhere. We have a whole presidential team that pretty much is, they blowing that horn.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have so many people that are fooled into thinking that he's a multimillionaire, billionaire, that he's smart. I think people fool themselves thinking these people have so much money, they're smart, and they're going to make me some money. No, they're not.
That's right.
No, they're not. They're not going to make you any money. They're going to give you a little bit of, they're going to dingle a few little things at you. What we was arguing about when we were going through the presidential debate. Eggs, and we were supposed to have, wasn't gas supposed to be less than $2 now? We were supposed to have all of these tax breaks and all of these things, and no tax on tips, and people don't even understand the percentage that is gonna benefit them. It's very minute. No tax on overtime. That's on the half. You're still getting taxed on the full time. You're just not getting taxed on the half. But how many people around here just getting a plethora of overtime? And if they are, they probably in a place where they have to have it, which means it ain't gonna benefit them at the end of the day anyway.
And I'll bet you that, let's say that it passes and it happens, companies are going to start saying no overtime. We're going to cut down on overtime, and it's just going to be restructured to where
flip it every time.
It's going to be
flip it every time to their benefit. Yeah. There are so many tax loopholes for the rich. There's so many that we will never get to take advantage of them unless you play the game and desire to be rich. But you know what? The love of money is the root to all evil. Love of money. We need money to survive. We have to have money for our daily upkeep. But the love of money, when people start doing anything for that greenback, you're in a bad place, man.
And what's interesting about the people, the billionaires, and again, let me say, I don't like watching the news. I'm not, Tanya's all over it. She tells me what I need to know. I'm not really into it. I know a few things, but you hear about the Epstein files and all these things, and it's like all these billionaires and all these people are in it's like, but no one is saying, okay, they're talking about the Epstein files and who's in it, whatever. They were trafficking young girls, having sex with young girls, and taking advantage. And I don't know if it was, this is what they did, but we're so mixed up into all these little things. This is what they did. You were associated with this man. You went to the island. You did this thing, and it's the rich and powerful. And it's like it is, and for the love of money, you are correct. But when they get that money, they just start doing evil things, because I'm willing to bet there are a lot of people who are that rich, did things that weren't quite right to get that money. And I'm not saying don't be rich. I wish I had a lot of money. I do. It's the mentality that you get when you get it and you feel like you're untouchable, and then you start taking advantage of people who are helpless. I'm sure you took advantage of the poor. You took advantage. You stole the innocence of young girls and young boys, and it's just, and it's like no one. It's like no. It's like that's been not overlooked. They're talking about it and it's disgusting, but no one is outraged that you have all these little girls and all these boys and whomever who are out there who had to deal with this trauma of these old, gross people taking advantage of these little girls. This happened. This happened. This happened to someone. And when you put
go
ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say what bothers me most about all of that is that they're trying to sprinkle in Christianity to win the votes of quote unquote Christians. But we got a president that's on his third wife, kids, he's been involved in all kind of things. And I don't want to question anybody's faith. I don't want to question anybody's belief. But you have to question it when their life doesn't line up and it's right in front of you.
And that's what I'm talking about. You say one thing, but you so flagrantly doing something else.
Right. Right. No, it's eye-opening how so many people, and they get mad. And I'm not talking about they as in Republicans. I'm talking about anybody that backed Trump. Whether they're white, they're black, they're Asian, they're Puerto Rican, whatever, they get upset when you call out the idiocy that he partakes in. And I mean, it is what it is. That's why I don't get into politics so much, because I know the God that I serve, and nothing happens without God allowing it. And some people will say that, God wanted him to be president. No. God allowed him to be president.
And there's a difference.
For this moment, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference.
Because all this stuff that's going on, it was said this stuff is going to go on. In the Bible, if you look at it, it said that this stuff is going to happen. That's why I have a hard time when I pray, and I do, and I have a problem, and I have to work on that with. I know you should pray for your leadership, and you should pray for. It's hard for me when I know that. Look, I'm gonna take a side road here.
Mm-hmm.
I vote Democrat. Okay, there are a ton of things that I don't agree with as far as the party is concerned. I mean, tons of things that I don't agree with. Okay. Now, when you compare things that I don't do it to what I see is just this flagrant hatred and things. And so when someone say, "Well, what's the difference?" I don't really look at the political thing. I just know that I'm hated. I'm hated, and it's flagrant that I'm hated. So I'm not going to vote for somebody who hates me. And so if I have to pick between the two, this is what I'm going to do. And sometimes there's just no good, whatever. But again, I'm not saying, oh, bad Republicans and Democrats. Oh, wonderful. It's not like that.
Yeah, on both sides.
Because again,
on every side.
I don't agree with everything, because it blows my mind how people can look past certain things. It does. Even both parties. But to me, the climate that is now, it is just mind blowing how the hatred for me and for Hispanic people and and the women, how the hatred for women, because it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
I honestly didn't have a problem with his initiative when he came forth and said that he was going to start all of this deportations for the drug dealers and these people that have committed heinous crimes. And hey, get them out of here. If they've done something, even if they've done something in their country and not in our country, let them go through due process, send them home, and get rid of them. If they've committed a felony over here, that's especially something against a person. We can chump up charges all day long. You can make a person what you want them to be if you just add on enough stuff. But people that have committed crimes against other humans, who have done drug smuggling, who have, all of these things, I'm cool with that, but that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. I think there were 32 deaths in the in 2025 from people in ICE facilities and other things regarding immigration. And this year already it's been 6. And now you're shooting white Americans. You shooting white, you shoot a woman in the face. You shoot a man in the back. It's like, what in the world is going? How can our country continue to stand for this? It ain't got nothing to do with immigration right now. This has everything to do with dictatorship. It has nothing to do with immigration.
And that you are absolutely right. And I'm getting ready to say some stuff that's going to make people mad. I know I am.
Say it.
First and foremost, I agree with what you said. Deport people who are doing the crimes and murder. I totally agree. My problem is they're not the only ones doing stuff. It's like you took the focus off of Americans doing those things. So now every bad thing a Hispanic person did it. You need to quit. That's a lie, and that's all you hear. That's all you hear. Every crime, every bad thing, everything's going on. You blame it on Hispanic people, and we know that's not the case. But they're making it seem like that's the case, and so that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing is, all of these ICE agents. Oh, this is here it is. I know policemen. I know. I've known them. My father was one for many years. Right. I know policemen here in the state that I'm in who have no business being a policeman. None. Okay, so now you have that. You have these people who their job, that's their deal. So now you have hundreds, if not thousands, of ICE agents who I'm willing to bet are less qualified than policemen. And so now you have these people who want to feel powerful. Now I have this over people, and I don't care whether you black or white or Hispanic, and I don't care ICE agent. You don't have the mentality to go out and do a job. You're out on a vendetta. I'm going to get them. So now that you have that mentality, I'm going to get them. You have certain policemen, love the police. There are certain ones who shouldn't be police. Trust me, I've had them. Okay, stop. I've known them. Okay. And so now you have these people who are ill qualified to be out here, but we give them guns. We send them out with no rules whatsoever. You just do whatever you think that you're going to do because you won't be punished. I'm going to make sure of that. And so you have people running scared. You have people running because you have probably maniacs, and those people who have big trucks, and I'm not just big trucks, but you have this mentality that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get me about 5 or 6 of them, and I'm going to show them that mentality. And now you're just giving them a job. Go out and do it.
Insecurity, man. Insecurity. You need something to grab hold of. You need something to feel powerful. You need something to, walk big behind. It's amazing that if you had these conversations, just one-on-one, these people wouldn't act the way that they act. They need a crowd. They need a lot of backing, and it's unnecessary. When blacks are unruly, it's unnecessary. It's wrong.
That's
when
right.
Whites are unruly, it's unnecessary. It's wrong. When Hispanics are, we can go down the list. When anybody's unruly and disrespectful and breaking the law, it is wrong.
That's right.
Deal with it. Let us deal with it. But there's a professional, respectful, and that's what statutes are there for. That's what the laws are there for. We have to operate within the laws. But we got a president that said, I want to rewrite the Constitution. I don't like the laws that we have right now. I don't like the things that we're. Then he said last week, I think that white males should seek discrimination lawsuits. It's like, what? Huh? Tell me how. And my white brothers and sisters, those of y'all who, want to believe everything he says and go, I ask that you just take an inventory of your heart, find out what it is this man is doing that is of God, that's of God. And the president don't have to be no Christian. The president is not there to serve no faith purpose. I hate that we have people that are in power that, are certainly of the devil, but I don't need you. I don't need you to be a pastor to be no president. I don't even need you to attend church to be a president.
Mm-hmm.
But at least have some good in you. At least have some good in you and want what's best for the whole nation. The entire nation. You have been voted in as the leader of the free world, our country, the United States of America. I don't know why they got that united in there, because we are 50 little nations.
Yes, we are.
We are not united. Everybody got their own law. Everybody do what they want to do. Every governor doing.
Yes.
They just shoot. And Lord, this one down here. But anyway, we're gonna.
We can have a contest. I need my job.
Nah, it's crazy, man. It really is. But you know what? That should prompt us to pray even more. To pray even more for our nation, for the mind of our leader, to pray for the protection of our country, because now we're getting into battles that are very unnecessary. He talks about all the wars that he stopped, but in the meantime, he's starting other ones. It's like, but we starting stuff with people without no army. We starting stuff with people without no military. I don't like that. Now, if we're gonna be America, let's be America. Let's stand up to the Kremlin over there. Let's stand up to China over there. Why we bullying these other little countries? They ain't got nothing but a little, they got a little National Guard. They got some ROTC people, but they ain't got no armies. They don't have anything that can do anything to our country as far as we know, as far as what we've been told. We got the greatest military on the face of the earth. But I got to question the leadership, of our nation to even know if the people that he has leading are the leaders that we had in the past. You could trust those leaders, or so we thought. We felt. I don't know about you. I don't feel secure in our country. I don't feel secure in our country.
It is scary. Yeah.
I don't feel secure in our country. And I dare anybody tell me to leave, because this is my home.
Yeah.
I just don't feel
secure. They're driving crazy. If you don't want to be here, it's like, what? What?
Yes, screw anybody who says that. That, you know what?
I saw somebody on my Facebook. They're not there anymore, who said it's funny how so many people who live in this country got so many negative things or something stupid. Like, why don't they just leave? I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? It was a white male. I'm like, okay. Are you kidding me?
Well, my question is, do you like everybody in your family? Do you get along with everybody in your family? If you don't, should you just leave? No. That's stupid.
But that's that extreme. That's the
mentality. That's the mentality. The word of God says the greatest of these is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Thy neighbor ain't the same color. Yeah. Thy neighbor ain't the same faith background. Thy neighbor is anybody that is around us. That's right. Whatever they look like, whatever their ethnicity, wherever they came from, love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Love thy neighbor. And if we can't do that as a country, I don't see how we can be a Christian nation, because we got the most hate that I've seen, And
then we got the nerve to be talking about other countries. I mean, this country was built literally on the back of slavery, of free labor. When you
Right.
find the billionaires and all these people who had that old money, it was
Right.
built because you had all these industries and you didn't have to pay for it. And so now you have all this, and now we have nerves to talk about, oh, they're doing all these bad things. They're doing that, but you're right, baby. Tanya just said this country was built on hate. It was.
Right.
It literally was. And then you talk about the Jews and the Holocaust and here, but we just talking about this right now. Built on hate. You had Native Americans who were here. You came, and now they have reservations because they were put on reservations in their own country.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Hey man, it's so much that we could say. I love my country. I love the freedoms. I just wish I wish we could do better. And like I said, this is not United States hate. This is wanting United States to be better.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're smack dabbing. Well, no, we're almost done with it. 10 days left. With I don't even like having no Black History Month, and then we got the shortest month. How that happen?
So,
hey man,
I see that as another way of control. Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you free. I'm gonna give you have all your programs for a month. But you know what? Without Black minds and Black inventions, we wouldn't have the necessities that we have for daily living. Refrigeration, AC, heat. It's so much that our people invented that we brought to the table that it's not studied in school. No. It's not discussed. It's not talked about. You're going to hear about Alexander Graham Bell. You're going to hear about the light bulb. You're going to hear about all this stuff. But you know what? It is what it is.
So I do have a question. In Florida, what can't y'all teach in school anymore? What? Okay, I'm sorry. And then after you do that, I'll stop. You answer that, then we can go. What is it? What did that nut say? What did
if I'm not mistaken, it's black history. Any history that's not basically American history. And like I don't have kids that are in school anymore, so I didn't dive into it like I did when they were in school. But my grands, man, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to. I don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah, we're taking out anything that is against American history, and we know what we mean when we say American history. Like a day in our shoes, man, and you wouldn't have to worry about, why do they bring this stuff up so often? Come on, man.
Yeah. They couldn't even begin to understand. And you and I, we got to just be truthful. You and I are blessed. We have one we have good jobs. We have but that has nothing to do with the things that we've gone through, that our parents have gone through, that we go through today. Heck, there are certain places I go and I'm still follow. I got a white beard and gray hair and but that does not matter.
Nah.
I go for walks at my job, and there are women who go on the other side of the street to avoid. And I've been there for years, but I digress. I'm not getting into that because it's going to make me mad. So yes,
it happens. Yeah, there's so much to unwrap. There's so much to continue talking about. But for tonight, thank you again for joining us with Let's Talk with Casey and Mike. Again, please send your questions, your comments. Let's Talk Casey Mike at gmail.com. We appreciate everybody that emails, that texts, that calls, and all kind of interaction. The Power Show. Everybody. It's great to see and hear the feedback, and we're gonna keep talking until ain't nothing else to talk about.
We'll keep on talking then.
So thank you all again. Join us next week at the Lord's will for Let's Talk with Casey and Mike. Peace.
Love you guys. Take care.